Welcome to Fatalis Arc Part 1, Phase 2 Unlocked. Welcome back to another Monster Hunter Journal where I grind my way for my final challenge with 5 monsters remaining and of course Fatalis at the end of it. So the last time we spoke, Alatreon fell a little bit earlier than planned. I was planning on killing him at Master Rank 100 and now my final challenge awaits Fatalis. I already saw the original cutscene after fighting Alatreon. And by the way, yes, I have killed Alatreon, the story and the little baby brother of Alatreon. All the Alatreons are dead. And from that, I was able to farm, not even farm, just from those 2 kills, I was able to get the Alatreon Switch Axe, which has a very handy feature on it called Elder Seal, which apparently makes Elder Dragons weaker. Very convenient. So we have a new Switch Axe and also our weapon to kill Fatalis. So last week I went and I just went to see what it was all about. I got all my backstory. I lasted 8 minutes and I died. Nothing unexpected. So this week the goal was let's close the gap. I was actually at Master Rank 87 and I want to get to Master Rank 100 so that I can unlock more augments for my armors and weapons and I can get a little bit more cushion to fight this massive dragon. Well, after a bit of hunting in the Guiding Lands, I made it to, I think, Master Rank 96, so we're getting very close. And I have to say, every other monster feels extremely comfortable right now. I was doing everything in multiplayer, so of course that skews the experience. But coming off of Alatreon, everything has massive opening. I'm like, oh, you're just going to stay there for like 5 seconds and take this punishment? Even Rajang, which I'm like, oh, there's the opening. There's the opening. He just doesn't feel as fast as he used to. But of course, in multiplayer, he's not always targeting me. So maybe it's a skewed perception. But the whole game just feels like I'm just like looking at everything in slow-mo. And I was like, what game am I playing in? So the Guiding Lands was going pretty smooth. You know, just killing a bunch of stuff on repeat. And by the end of the evening, I was curious to see like, you know, the Fatalis fight is not a one and done deal. We have to learn this fight. I have to go in and over and just learn the whole mechanics. So from my first impression, I saw that there was like a whole bunch of stuff like weaponry that I could use that I didn't really get around to play with too much. There's a lot that fight throws at you that I was just overwhelmed. So I have to go there a lot. And this time I went in extra prepared because that gold Rathian armor that I built for Alatreon that I did not end up using. I was like, you know what? You're going to come with me on the Fatalis journey because I don't care. I'm going to use anything I can to get through this dragon. So Divine Blessing level 5, Divine Bless me. So I went in with that skill. I put on some Heavy Artillery, which is a new skill I've never used. At first I thought people were trolling me. I was like, come on, Heavy Artillery, this is what? Like, this is probably for like heavy bowguns or something. And then I read it, it's like increases the power of Heavy Artillery, which is what you use in the Fatalis fights. I'm like, you know what? We're going to bring that as well. So I went in with the attitude of the last time I fought him, I was really like, okay, let's study what he's doing. And I saw all the fire. I almost put on a bunch of like fire resist. People are like, don't bother. It's not even fire. So just go for it. So this time I went in and I'm like, I'm just going to be super aggressive on this dragon. I'm just going to hit him and see what happens. I'm going to be as aggressive as I can and see what happens. And I felt being more aggressive made me have to react and position myself a little bit more like instinctively. And it felt more like a fight and it felt more fun. I also got to learn that if I position the cannon correctly, I got like some shots on his chest, which made 1,000 damage with like two cannonballs. I was like, oh my God, these things can do a lot of damage. So the Heavy Artillery is key and I can pull off a few before he blows up the whole like rampart part. He really like shoots fire very close to him. So I noticed like whether you're on the side or in front of him between his legs, he will like put that fire right up against him. He doesn't care. So there was a few parts where I was like actually stuck between his legs and he just came in with his head and he just like just killed me. Divine Blessing probably saved me a few times. But overall, there's just fire everywhere. That said, when I am close to him, I realize I can actually dodge his like massive land of fire attack, which was killing me a lot the last time. So now, and that's a big opening too. Also, I was doing a lot more zero-sum discharges on this guy, which is something I was barely not doing on Alatreon because the openings felt so small and I was always so stressed. But here I'm like, oh, he's just moving around and shooting his fire. Let's see if I can latch on. And I could zero some discharge. So I was getting a bunch of those in. I was like, this feels like such a comfortable fight right now. I also got him down, and I got so excited because like he came down and it looked like he fell, and everyone's like, he's down, fight him, everyone being the people in the game. And so like I went straight to the head, but no, he was down, but he was still very much fighting, and his head is moving and he's biting me and he's shooting fire at me. I was like, what the heck? Why are we getting excited? He's down. This doesn't make it that much easier. So I really need to learn how to actually move and find the openings. There was also, I think, a moment where I think it was Aiden who bound Fatalis to the ground, creating more openings, but I wasn't ready for that. I didn't know that was going to happen. So I wasn't ready to deal out damage. But overall, just sticking to him made more damage, made me instinctively learn what I had to dodge. And I was very surprised to see a cutscene, which I was told represents that I've actually killed or dealt 25% of his health and damage. So we're a quarter of the way there. And so at this point, Fatalis flies away, and he just like, does his like supernova blast and burns the whole thing. And I legit thought Aiden, or the excitable A-lister, had died at this point. Like he runs, there's like dramatic music, he pushes you out of the way, and then everything gets covered in fire. And I was like, that's it, he's dead. He's dead, my buddy's dead. Like I finally fight with someone and he's dead. I'm like, oh no, they're making a show after him. And even the chat was like playing into it of like, this is your motivation to like kill Fatalis. I was like, oh my god, this is such a plot twist. And then of course, he's not actually dead. He's just like brushing it off and making jokes. I was like, what is this universe? There are no consequences. At this point, I got it was a cool moment. Like the fact that now the Dragonator is available, and we got like the signal so we can like summon friends, and that actually, so they're like, oh, the guild is here. I think it's the guild. Might be saying that wrong. And then like in the game that translates to you can finally invite friends to the fight. So like it was cool how that like connected. It's kind of like the second wind of the fight. It's like, all right, we've just finished like the practice round. Now we're going into the real fight. And I have to say, they kind of threw so much information at me. I freaked out, and I was like, because now they're like, okay, one thing, the moving ballista is available, some kind of wall is available, and then when the Dragonator, when you know the time, that's ready too. And I'm just like, okay. And then it puts me in the battlefield. If Fatalis is like kind of flying, and I'm like, where do I go? What do I do? And I just see Fatalis coming at me with like fire. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to pick left. And I ran. I was like, and everyone's like, go to the ballista, go to the ballista. I was like, where's the ballista? What's the ballista? And the handler's saying things. I was like, what am I doing? So I'm just like mantle running. And I found a ballista, but it was apparently not the ballista. And I got on it with my my mantle, and I'm just taking shots at him. He's coming at me, and he's about to roast me. I was like, do I hold on to the ballista or do I run? I held. It didn't do any damage, so I think it's because I had the temporal mantle. Temporal mantle ate all that damage, and apparently that is a ballista that you're supposed to use to one shot to take him down. So I wasted that shot. It didn't do anything. I think I missed it as well. So I think it's like a binding shot. So I learned that's on the left, and I wasted it and ruined it. But learning happened, which is very important. And then I booked it to the other side because everyone's like, go to the other side. So I'm like, all right, I'll go to the other side. And then I found the moving ballista, which is like a machine gun on rails. I was like, oh, this is so cool. So I like get on it. I'm going like, I'm going. And then I see like Fatalis' fire coming towards me. I'm like, oh, retreat, retreat. And then his fire catches up, bounces me off. And then I get back on it. And I'm like going on the tracks. I'm like, and then the fire's coming back at me, pushes me off. And then I get back on it. And then he's like, I've had enough of your shit. And he just fireballs me and snipes me off the thing. So cool tool, but I do not think that is the moment I'm supposed to use it. So unfortunately, I did not make it very far into the second phase of the fight because I got overwhelmed. But clearly, like, I have to do the first phase a few more times to actually understand what I'm doing. But I think I can really like bring that together well because that feels more like a traditional fight. Phase 1. Phase 2, there's more tools. Like I don't even know what the there's like some kind of gate. It looks like there's a gate that I can like shut and either hide myself or put Fatalis behind. I don't know how to use that, but handler's like, hey, use that. And then there's the Dragonator, which we know how to use that, but I don't know where the button is. So there's a lot of stuff that is thrown at me. And some people are like, well, we talked about it in the strategy meeting. It's like, yeah, the strategy meeting that happened. And a week ago, and I don't remember what were the critical parts. I remember them talking about the Dragonator and a switch here, and we have to manually load it. Like, they threw so much at me. I just like, I'll remember. I'll look it up when it's important. I'll figure it out when it's important. So at this point, I was super, super proud and happy with the progress I made. I was not expecting to make another phase on Fatalis before Master Rank 100. I've also unlocked Lunastra. So Lunastra was unlocked in the Guiding Lands. I unlocked her quest in the in my quest, so I can finally take on Master Rank Lunastra for the first time. And next stream, we're unlocking Bruiner Nergigante, so there's going to be a lot of monsters to unlock. Master Rank 100 is going to be opened up. I'm going to be able to like start putting more stuff on me, and then I can start refining my fight in phase 1, learning how to do phase 2, and I don't know if there's like phase 3, 4, 5. I don't know how many phases to this there are, but there's more learning to be done. I'm on the right track. Things are progressing smoothly. This is a fun fight. I'm really enjoying it. So I'm dying. I'm dying a lot. I'm dying fast, but I'm also learning fast. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how I do next time, because I feel right now at this rate, I'm going to finish faster than I anticipated. But things can get dicey, things can happen quick, so we'll see what happens. My confidence level is still pretty good, considering we're taking on the god of all monsters. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next journal or the next stream, and until next time, keep it classy.